Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. Taylor Swift song for you that it came to mind just as I hit the record button for this current sun transit theme we are in, Gene Key 39. Sarah D. Flo here. Welcome to another video. It's my pleasure to speak with you on this theme. The shadow is provocation, the gift is dynamism, and the city, the highest level, the highest frequency of this theme is liberation. It's all about taking radical self-responsibility for our own freedom, especially in those moments where we feel obstructions, blocks, sabotage, thwarted, stuck. Anybody who is interested in the gene keys or transformation, self-development, self-discovery, anyone who's awake in this time understands we're in a massive evolutionary jump point where we are moving away from being victims, living as victims, where we've given our power away to outside authorities, that our freedoms can be taken away from us, which is quite something to say in these times because this can be interpreted in many different ways. And we are jumping evolution to understand that we are very powerful beings and that we are co-creating our reality based off of conscious and unconscious programmed stories about who we are as a species. So radical responsibility. This jump point in evolution really is having this understanding that we're all one, we're all connected, and that our vibrational frequency, essentially our attitudes about life, about obstacles, obstructions that come into our reality, are basically gifts and not a bad thing. What? Yes, they're gifts to show us where we need to put our focus for transformation. Our liberation is literally in the very thing that provokes us. And provocation, this gene key, is all about provoking us to awaken and putting us in really uncomfortable situations so that eventually we get to the point where we are so uncomfortable that we start to make change. And then as we make change, we start to experience ourselves in completely different ways. We, surrender, we say enough is enough, and we give up in some ways the pushing or the resistance or the old habits that we've had. We go towards, raising our frequency by doing what we love, for example. It's the best way to raise our vibration is to do things that you love. And we start to experience more flow, more synchronicities, more ease. And yes, all the chaos and all of the stories of where our freedoms are taken away still exist. Those stories will still exist for who knows how long, but there are enough of us that have awoken to some degree that are taking responsibility for the fact that we have the power to clear these karmas, these old programs where we've all experienced being victims of circumstances. We've all experienced betrayals. And instead of resisting the uncomfortable feelings, we allow ourselves to feel and therefore clear these emotions and programs and then lift ourselves higher to new ways of being. And the gift of dynamism is basically where we allow our creativity to be expressed. And in expressing our creativity, we are gifted with more energy, and it's an infectious energy. Just like fear is infectious at the lower shadow frequency, creativity is infectious. When you're around somebody who is just completely being themselves and creating at such an inspiring energy to be around. And there are so many people awakening. If we look at 2020 and all the freedoms that were taken away and all the changes that were happening on the planet. So many people were provoked to awaken, and so many have. And the frequency is raising on the planet. More people are stepping into their authenticity and creating new lives for themselves. And it truly is a beautiful thing. And this jump point of our evolution is really about liberating humanity to step into our birthright as creators of this reality. And I love what Richard Rudd speaks about in the audio. And if you look at any of the Gene Key books or website, there's a dragonfly. He uses a dragonfly, and he shares this story in Gene Key 55, which is provoked by the 39 that we're in right now. And it's a channel, basically. They're connected, and it's a pressure to awaken to your freedom, basically. He speaks about the difference of liberation and freedom, but essentially at the highest level of the city, they're all the same. You know, there's 64 gene keys, 64 hexagrams, 64 codon rings in the body, but ultimately we're all one thing. So these are all just words, and I do love the gene keys to just give some words to the experiences we're having as a human. And so the dragonfly, what provokes this nymph? Dragonfly starts as a nymph under the water, and it's a predator and underwater, and it survives, thrives very well. And then one day it climbs up a stalk of grass, and it releases all the water from its body, which unfurl the wings of the dragonfly, and then it becomes a new species. It's a dragonfly, no longer a nymph contained in the water. So what provokes the dragonfly to do that? Well, it's this gene key that we're in. It's this theme. So if you felt like your buttons have been pressed, or you've been provoked by people or situations in your environment, instead of looking at it as a bad thing, we look at it as a gift to have a focus for where our transformation, our next level of transformation, is calling us to liberate ourselves. And this energy of provocation is literally here to give pressure to humanity to wake up to a new way of being on this planet. So it's an exciting time, but it's also messy, uncomfortable. In the audio, Richard Rudd talks about the cleaning a drain. Like if you clean, you have to pull out all the gunk that's blocking the drain, and it's gross and uncomfortable. But then once it's clean, the water runs clear. So this time that we're in it's messy. We haven't cleaned the drains. The blockages have been ignored and repressed and not accepted and embraced for many, many, many generations. And I'll just finish with a big old thank you to the ones who are taking responsibility for cleaning the drain that is within you. And I know the discomforts of this. I also know the freedoms of this. And it's one of the reasons why I share these videos, because it's a beautiful time, and you're not alone. And I just want to give a heartfelt thank you for being you. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.